All right. Jeff Koga here, and I'm making this particular video as a show note for Marketing Strategy Lab episode 8, Marketing Funnel Friday, the 60-day Marketing Blitz campaign, and this is part 1 of a part 2 episode. And if you're watching this video, you're either watching it because you saw one of my videos on YouTube or because you're actually at our blog, marketingstrategylab.com. But the point of the matter is this, is that the reason why I'm making this is because I need to catch up on actually giving the show notes for these episodes. Now, we haven't even been doing episodes for the last 2 weeks or so, and the reason why we haven't been able to do it is because we just been so slammed and busy actually working on our business and our consulting clients, and it's just been so tough to release. But the point of the matter is I wanted to go ahead and do this because I believe each podcast should have some type of show notes on it, and as you can see, time right now on my time is about 12:39 a.m. As I'm recording this on August 14th, while we launched this episode way back, okay, on believe July 20th. So as you can see, it's been quite a long time for us to even launch it, but I wanted to do this to prove a point. Okay, couple of things. We've actually made it to number 5 on iTunes, and in terms of ranking, and we got some pretty record-breaking downloads. But some other discoveries that we found, which we'll talk about later on, but I'll kind of give you the nutshell of it, is that when we first launched our original podcast on Real Estate Strategy Lab, a lot of our own traffic came from organic traffic getting ranked on top of Google. I mean, not top of Google, but on iTunes. But iTunes has actually changed the way they rank podcasts now, and the reason why we know this is because on our iTunes and my buddy's iTunes, I mean Jason's iTunes, we show up as being number 5 under the marketing category. Okay, but we wanted to prove a theory. So what we ended up doing was actually using our remote server that we have to pull up the information and actually see if it's exactly the same if we were to install iTunes on a remote server. And surprise, surprise, guess what? It was actually totally different. Not was it just a slightly different, but it was 100% all different, meaning that the top 50 podcasts was not even on ours. So it was just a freak. So we're just like, oh my gosh, you know what? So if we're trying to pull out, you know, free traffic from that, then it's going to make it a really tough thing for us to be able to turn this into a income generating machine. And as anyone has studied traffic and conversion, they'll tell you that you know, in traffic there's really only 3 things that you can actually get right. Those 3 things are, number 1, traffic, as they say, that you control. And if you have never heard of this, this is pretty darn good. Traffic that you can control is what? Like PPC, right? Traffic that you can't control. Traffic that you can't control is like SEO, YouTube, you know, that kind of stuff. Even podcasting, right? To try to get the traffic from Stitcher or to try to get traffic from iTunes. And then the third one is traffic that you own. Well, obviously the traffic that you own is, guess what? Your email list. Okay. So to grow our business on this is because we made it a rule so that way we don't put capital infusion through this, because it would be unfair to kind of turn this into a case study business for a lot of people out there that's trying to figure out how to make money online. So we haven't put our own capital in, like a significant amount. Okay, I preferably want to drop about 5 figures, you know, into it, but I've kind of held off because we wanted to turn it into a case study. But point of the matter is this: is that you know, on the server, remote server, we never showed up. So we were just like, you know what, let's focus on what's making us money now and what we can do to deliver better content, because we were doing a 7-day show and it became very difficult for us to do. Certain days we were actually recording 2 to 3 shows a day, so that way we can be 2 weeks ahead and then, you know, post them. But as we got caught up doing, you know, busy running multiple businesses, because we run multiple businesses, Jason and I, we ended up saying, whoa, that's a little bit too tough on our side, and that's why we kind of fell behind. But it was a good thing, because we kind of surveyed the list and they said, yeah, you know, we're kind of jumping around on all different topics, and you know, we're just like, yeah, it should be just, you know, deliver better quality content. So that's what we're doing. But I'm making this to prove a point on this Marketing Strategy Lab Marketing Funnel Friday, episode 8, because one of the things that I want to make sure that people are aware of is the concept of good is good enough, perfect it later. And if you tell this to certain business owners, right, and certain entrepreneurs, they'll say that's absolutely terrible thing to do. Okay, because guys like Steve Jobs and stuff like that, right? They always said as good is never good enough, and you should always perfect everything and know that every single little details and get it done. But I'm a believer on the other side, which is good enough until you get a actual working model that can actually generate income, right? So obviously, if you already have income and cash flow, and our business is all about just cash flow management, and if you already have income and cash flow already coming in, then absolutely you should focus on quality, right? Okay, but if you're in the startup phase of your business, you got to figure out whatever you're going to do, because startup phases of business is pretty chaotic, right? Meaning that people are just doing whatever it takes to try to generate income. So you got to do things. So some of the things that we've been doing to testing to try to grow our email list, okay? Because our email list in the internet world is literally less than like 100, okay? Because we haven't really been marketing hard. Well, obviously we have our real estate list that's 22,000 and stuff like that. But we haven't really worked on this, so we're working on this. But I'm doing this video to show the point that hey, good is good enough. That I'm making this video to catch up on all of my blogs and giving a case note tonight, actually at 12:44 a.m. now, to actually say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give the notes for all of this. So the point of the matter is, I'm going to put this up and then put it up on my YouTube channel, put it in the notes of the actual Marketing Strategy Lab blog to show you that this is good enough. Why? Is because you're going to see that hey, sometimes when you're running a marketing campaign, the most important thing for you to do is to finish something, right? And to finish and to track the results. Like for example, our site that I talked about on the episode isn't 100% complete. We just finally got it completed to our liking right now. We actually had it a different strategy before, where we actually had a special player on there. So we were just like, okay, let's put the special player on the homepage, so if people go on there, they're actually going to click on it, or we hope that they're going to click on it, and then we'll get a download count. And because of the download count, it's going to count on the iTunes ranking. And if we get up high on the iTunes ranking, guess what? We're going to get more people looking at the eyeball, kind of being on like the top of Google, right? And we're going to get more subscribers. But when we figured out that, hey, you know what? Our top 50 podcasts on a certain category is dramatically different than someone else, we were just like, that's kind of dumb, let's go back to just old school and just figuring out how to get people on our list. So we ended up just changing it all out, and I'm writing an actual special report right now that's called digital marketing strategies, okay, manifesto. Actually, I just butchered it. Okay, it's called the Digital Marketing Strategy Manifesto, and you're going to discover how you can finally stop struggling and start earning a full-time income that you want online. And I'm breaking down why people fail. Right, and why people fail making money online is not because of a tactic strategy, right? Most people try to go ahead and figure out, what kind of tactics do I want to do? SEO? Do I want to create info products? Do I want to do PLRs? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? It's not a tactic problem. It's a strategy problem that we run into, and I know this for a fact because I ran into a lot of it in my real estate investment company, where it was never a tactic problem. It was always a strategy problem, and to try to drum up business and try to generate leads. So the point is of this particular show note is letting you know that good is good enough, perfect it later, and not saying that don't put all of it in and deliver good, not to deliver like crappy content, but deliver good content, so that way, people can see that, hey, you know what you're talking about. And then from there, you can perfect it later on, because, the beauty of the internet is that videos like this stay online forever. I started doing my first YouTube video back in 2007. If you were to Google my name, Jeff Koga, you'll be able to actually see, and it still gets views to this day. And since then, I launched multiple YouTube episodes, especially the most popular one is called Flippinese TV, and I did season 1 and season 2, and it has over 2 million views in the real estate arena. Okay, no one ever done that before that, and I did that, and there's a bunch of now copycats or people that actually are doing that type of strategy, which is super cool, because they say what imitation is the best form of flattery, right? Or I might be butchering it, but I think that's how it goes. And it's really cool. But I wanted to make this to let you know that, hey, you know what? Get it going, deliver content, and then from there, once you have a decent content going, then drive traffic to it. Because on our site, as I said, it wasn't 100% complete, but what we had was a actual heat tracker and a heat map. So every single time people came on, we were tracking where it was going, people were clicking on, and the thing was about it is when we had the player on the homepage, guess what? Everyone hit the play button, right? Because we see that little play button with the heat map on there, but the problem was what? They weren't opting onto our list. Now, obviously, we have a retarget pixel on there, so we can retarget and get them back on our site and possibly have them opt in, but we're just like, you know what, that's a lot too much work, you know, versus let's go ahead and try to get the opt-in first. So that's what we kind of made an adjustment on. And as you watch this, we're recording this on August 14th, as I told you, is the site is dramatically different. But I wanted to make this to let you know that, hey, good is good enough, and I'm banging out literally about 8 of these video show notes right now, and I want to update all the blogs so that way people can actually see my insights and give my insights on why we decided to do this particular type of episode. And especially for this episode, the 60-day marketing blitz, we are currently still on a blitz, but it's kind of came to a standstill. And sometimes, especially, let me reframe that, is especially in marketing is you might have an intention and goal that you want to execute in the beginning, but if for whatever reason you find out that it is not going the way that you wanted it to go, then sometimes the best thing to do is stop immediately. I've made actually more money saying no and stopping a campaign than trying to actually perfect the campaign to try to make it profitable. So again, that's what happened with the 7-day show, and that's why we're slowing down, and we're probably only going to do now maybe a 2-week show, or at max maybe a 3-week show, is because we're realizing that, hey, you know what, even with the launch that we did, we got so many people that were interested in our consulting just in our real estate realm, and we're being very selective on who we work with. And long story short, we just did a product launch with a client, and that product literally converted at 25%. I actually wrote majority of the copy for that webinar, and it worked like gangbusters, literally converting at 25%, and sold the first on a webinar, the boot camp, pretty much the modules, and you know, it did almost a little over 100 units. It was actually 101 units with a 2-pay payment of $97 once, and the $97 coming in the next 30 days. So basically, that's a potential $20,000 product, and then they rolled the tape again and sold another 22, and they're rolling it again and sold another 22 this week, and they're replaying the actual tape again this week as well, hoping that they can sell another 20% or something like that. They actually currently have registered on that webinar over 500 people already. So anyone has done webinars, you know that about 50% of the people will show up. So that means that what, 250 people will show up, and if it converts even at a low end at 10%, right, you're going to do another 25 units. If it goes at 20 units, you're going to do another 50 units, and you can run the math on that, and you can say, okay, wow, you know, literally in 2 weeks, that's going to be a $50,000, $60,000 revenue producing week. So which is pretty cool, you know, for them. So it was awesome. So the point of the matter is, good is good enough. Get it and just go, because you know they always say, what, ugly marketing even like this, right? Because I can make this and put cool little intros and do all kinds of stuff and that kind of stuff, but ugly marketing will actually outshine consistent marketing all day long. So that's what I got for you, and check it out if you haven't seen it. Go to marketingstrategylab.com/MSL-00 marketingstrategylab.com/008 to check out this episode where we break down the actual funnel for Marketing Strategy Lab on what we plan to actually launch and what we're currently doing now. So follow our journey as we're going to turn this actual podcast and our consulting business into a 6-figure a month business. And so far, we've gotten about 2 clients, and we're slowly creeping up there. And we'll release by the end of August our financial report to show you exactly how much we actually made, and we'll show you how we're making the money as well. So stay tuned for that. This is Jeff Kogo, Marketing Strategy Lab, and I am signing out.